I am Veronica Vargas, and I work for the Food and Nutrition Division of FAO. And I will be moderating today's event with the support of Hugo Boris. And so to start, I'm wondering, Patricia is around. I would like to introduce Patricia Fracassi. Well, she will be covered by Hugo because she's unable to attend, unluckily. But Hugo works at the Food and Nutrition Division as well, and he's an officer in the climate change and nutrition. And he will be presenting the local heroes and how they can support for better agri-food systems, better planet, and better people. So Hugo, over to you.
Thank you very much, Veronica. So yeah, I'm very pleased to take part in today's webinar and to be part of the World Food Forum's effort to provide young people the skills and competency that they need to enter the workforce to transform agri-food systems, to optimize both nutrition, climate change, and biodiversity. Climate change, along with other simultaneous and interrelated environmental crises such as biodiversity loss, pollution, environmental degradation, threatens all dimensions of food and nutrition security, and our ability to produce sufficient quantities of nutritious food for today, but also for tomorrow. What is perhaps forgotten and sometimes overlooked is that how we produce and consume food has a significant impact on the environment, with some dietary patterns influenced by agri-food systems, but also shaping supply chains with different environmental footprints. So as FAO, we like to call those linkages between climate change, biodiversity, and nutrition as a nexus. So the nexus implies that if one element, that all those elements are closely linked, and if one worsens, the other elements could deteriorate as well. The positive side is that if one improves, the others can also improve. So here I'll just show a quick video summarizing what has just been said.
Humankind is facing a perfect storm of climate change, biodiversity loss, and multiple forms of malnutrition. Food is at the center of all three of these issues. To weather this storm, we need to reposition the variety and diversity of foods as central to healthy diets. This is possible if we connect our diets, our behaviors, our food environments, and our food supply chains back to ecosystems and biodiversity, the true foundation of life. Our current actions and policies can strengthen or destroy these connections. To keep everything connected, we need to ensure that our actions and our policies respond together to the triple challenge of mitigating climate change, restoring biodiversity, and ensuring good nutrition.
So to address these links, FAO sees biodiversity and diets as key levers to transform food systems and achieve better nutrition, social, and environmental impact. So providing access to healthy diets through more sustainable agri-food system can help reduce and mitigate greenhouse gas emissions, reduce pressure on environmental and natural resources, and preserve biodiversity. At the same time, tackling climate change and biodiversity loss can help build resilience of communities and ensure that nutrition and nutritious food is accessible to everyone, especially those in great vulnerability. These actions can address simultaneously those challenges, whether it's sustainable soil management, reduce food loss and waste, using education to increase consumers' understanding of the health and environmental impact of our diets. Those are all actions that are carried out throughout agri-food systems. And we recognize that actions can be done both at production, but also consumption level. And these are some actions that the Local Heroes Initiative wants to showcase. Basically, this is why we wanted to develop the Local Heroes Initiative, and this is why we present it today. That many of those actions are carried around the world, but are not well documented, are not shared, or not visible at national or regional or even global level. I'm sure many of you in the audience are already trying to transform agri-food system to some scale by trying to reduce your food waste or by trying to do some initiatives and some actions within your communities. The Local Heroes Initiative that Mark and Michele will present in more details afterwards responds to this need by giving young people the tools that they need to document, to share, and to highlight the actions that you carry, that you take within your communities to fight climate change, to protect biodiversity, to improve food and nutrition security. And so this is basically the aim of the Local Heroes Project. It's to give a voice to untold stories of local actors who are dedicating their passions and skills for their causes. So now over to you, Veronica.
Thank you very much, Hugo. So to start a bit with the training, I would like to present you to Mark Saunders, and he is from Spectacle. Mark is a London-based producer-director of award-winning documentaries, and he will explain us the method of the participatory video and the training process. Before he starts talking, I would like to show a little, a brief video of what it has been in the previous groups.
The Local Hero Project aims at building the visual storytelling capacities of young local actors who are fighting climate change, biodiversity loss, and malnutrition in their communities.
Los participantes a nuestros proyectos son los directores de la película. Entonces el control de lo que es el mensaje y de lo que es la historia visual queda en las manos de los participantes.
Entonces quiero que vean cómo es la casa de la señora, cómo es el espacio que donde cultiva.
We're going to use everyday tools like that phone in your pocket.
Se llama función, ¿cómo se llama en español?
Avión.
Modo avión.
Avión.
Getting some skills first and then going out and building stories together so that voices from people on the ground can be heard. So that videos that you care about, on issues that you care about, are made.
Understanding filmmaking isn't just about knowing how to operate a camera or how to shoot video on your phone. It's more than that. It's also about how to approach filmmaking and what you need to go out and film in order to be able to do effective storytelling.
O sea, ponerle la imagen del plano general y después cortarle y poner esa imagen del camión.
When you're just making your shot list, let your imagination go.
The end of the program is very important. Fighting climate change, we have to take many approaches.
Thank you. So Mark, the floor is yours.
Okay, hi everyone. My name's Mark. So participatory video is this idea of people involved who care about the story, pick up a camera and get behind the camera, not just being in front of it. And it's a way to get your voice heard, unmediated by others. So it's different from user-generated content. This is where participants have editorial control. So participatory video it's a process. It's a way to engage people, participants, in every phase of the production. Shooting, as you saw, the building of the story and the editing process. And you'll learn skills in a way that you can pass on those skills to others in your community. So it's about collaborative working, ways of developing filmmaking processes so that you can make them work on the ground. As I said, the key to it is participants have editorial control. And as you saw in that video there, participants are the director of the videos that are made. So next slide, please. So, yes, the why do participatory video? Well, the benefit of doing participatory video is that you are the expert on your subject. You're aware of the concerns, the sensitivities and interests of the people who you're working with, your community of interest. And when you make a film that comes with that authentic voice, it will have a lot more impact on the people that you want to reach on the ground, but it will also have more impact on policymakers, where you might have an opportunity to show videos and get them seen by people who are involved in policy level of decision making. It will also, it's a way to leave something behind, a sort of legacy of skills within a community, so that beyond the lifespan of this project, you're able to make your own films independently. Yeah, sorry, next one. So our workshops follow the basic filmmaking process, which breaks down into these three headings you see here. So pre-production, in our case, that's really about training, but pre-production is where you develop the story, you plan your film, you get together the resources that you need to make it. But in our case, it will be training workshops where you'll learn how to get good quality video and shot in a way that is editable just using your smartphone. So we'll go through what's called talking heads, interviews, people talking, how to get good quality sound, which is really essential. We'll go into some basic ways of additional equipment. How to shoot to edit is really important. It's different just to switching on a camera. It's about building narrative, storytelling. We'll also cover ethics and permissions, and you'll go through some exercises involving filming locations and live action. The second phase is the production phase, which is basically putting into practice what you've developed in the first phase. And also developing the story further. The final stage is post-production, our phase 3, which is where we'll go into one-to-one editing to produce finished films from this project. Okay, the next one. So what do you need? You need you don't need any equipment. You just basically need a smartphone and an internet connection. But what you do need is time and a commitment and passion to come on this journey. Because filmmaking is a long and linear process. It's really exciting and creative, but it will require from you short but intense bursts of input throughout the life of the project. Sorry, the next one. So the benefits. Why get involved? Well, just participating in phases 1 and 2 will give you a really useful skill set and tools to be able to make your own films independent and beyond the life of this project. And you'll also have a set of skills that can be transferred, because that's the way we communicate the way to use technology, in a way that you can transfer it to friends, community, your community, other activists. And there's some legacy from this project. So, so I hope that you all think carefully about whether or not you're able to get involved. It would be great if you can. And you'll hear the details of how to get involved later on in the presentation. So look forward to meeting some of you soon.
Thank you very much, Mark. So to inspire us a little bit, I would like to introduce you to Apollo Karuga. He's our champion from the Local Heroes group in 2022. And Apollo is a 26-year-old from Kenya, and he's a dietitian. And actually, Apollo discovered his calling to work on reducing malnutrition and food insecurity after his experience working with hospitals and NGOs. I would like first to show his video, the one that he produced in 2022, and then we will jump on his presentation.
My name is Apollo Karuga. I am a registered and certified dietitian from Kenya. After completing my studies, I moved out to do my internship at a hospital called Mbagathi Hospital. During my internship, I realized many people are suffering from different cases of malnutrition. I realized that the issue wasn't with the food that I was prescribing to my patients, but because of the broken food system. The challenges smallholder farmers in Kenya are facing include food waste due to poor storage of food and due to the climate change. For example, too much rain causes floods, which reduces the access to nutritious food from the farm. Hence, the need to preserve food in an affordable and eco-friendly way. At GrowPoint International, we've come up with many solutions, one of them being the solar food dehydrator. A solar food dehydrator is an equipment that is used by smallholder farmers to preserve food during different seasons of the year. It does this by reducing moisture in the food. The solar food dehydrator is sustainable in its own way. It has been painted black to absorb more heat. It has a solar panel at the top, which helps in usage of the renewable energy to help in propelling of the air inside the containers. It is transportable by the farmers, affordable because it can be made from locally made materials. The solutions to the broken food systems lies with the smallholder farmers.
Okay, Apollo, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Veronica, for the introduction. As said, I am Apollo Karuga, and I'm very pleased to participate in this webinar and to have the opportunity to introduce the climate change and biodiversity and nutrition nexus. So what I loved most about the program was the international experience that I got, working with international people from Asia and West Africa. The team, the FAO team was supportive, and Spectacle team had a lot of guidance that we took leverage of. What I loved most about, again, is the skill that I learned, that is digital ethic, and coming from an amateur to a professional videographer. So professionally, I gained more visibility in the FAO space. On LinkedIn, I got a lot more traction after posting what I went through the program. I was later endorsed by Veronica to work with the WFF, that is the World Food Forum, as a representative. And one of the most important landmarks that I made in my life was joining the African Food Systems Fellowship Program after pitching the video to them. So the challenge that I faced was meeting the assignment deadlines, but I adjusted my schedule, which mitigated the challenge that I was facing during that time. Personally, I recommend for you to take the Local Heroes Initiative program because everyone's agri-food system story needs to be told, and through our training, you'll have tools to tell it. Thank you so much, Veronica.
Thank you, Apollo, for sharing your experience. And it's very nice to see all you connected from all over like different countries around the world. And now I think this may be the most exciting part of the session. So we would like to welcome Michele De Laurentiis, and he's going to have, well, he will show a short training on tips and tricks on how to use smartphones as video cameras. And well, a bit about Michele, he's an anthropologist and a participatory video facilitator that has been working around 8 years with the Spectacle. And he's focusing on the video making and storytelling techniques. And he is going to be presenting his part right now. Can you share your screen? Thank you very much, Michele. Over to you.
Thank you, Veronica, and hello, everyone. Welcome to this part of the session. I'll screen share this. So what we will be going through in the next 20 minutes or so is a series of tips and tricks to get the best out of your phones, how to achieve good results with your phones by avoiding mistakes that sometimes are very easy to avoid if you're aware of what your phone is about as a tool, as a camera. So today's aims are to improve the ability to make good videos, either if you're filming just for a quick posting on social media, or you want to join our process or do similar longer storytelling projects where you need to understand what are the elements that you want to collect. You don't want technical faults to be in the way. You don't want your audience to lose interest because the image is too dark or the sound cannot be heard. So today we will try to understand your phone as a camera, but we will also treat today's opportunity as a kind of workshop zero of our participatory video training, so that you get a sense of what's the ethos, what are the ideas behind our way of transferring skills and making good videos and good stories heard to the rest of the world. So our principles, Mark already mentioned this, but are basically to give you as soon as possible all the tools that you need in order to get out and actually focus on your storytelling and not be afraid of using the technology. So what we don't assume any prior knowledge, we go from scratch so that we demystify the technology so that even the most technophobic are not afraid of using cameras to actually deliver great messages to the rest of the world. We will go through a series of workshops with incremental steps of knowledge and skills that we will try and transfer, and we will ask you to put into practice through a series of exercises. Well, the best way of learning how to make good videos is to actually go out and film and practice. And the best way to improve is to learn from mistakes. So there will be opportunities during the training workshop in which we will share the exercises and watch them together as a group, so that we can learn from each other mistakes and know how to tackle those downfalls that often happen when you go out and pick your camera and start filming something, so that when it matters to actually go out and collect your story, your ideas, and put them into a film, those technicalities will not get in the way. And we will also try and give you skills in a way that you can share them. You can learn together, not only within the group of participants that will join the participatory video training, but also with people you work with, community, peers that can contribute to make your stories even more engaging and fun. So we need to understand that phones are great. Let's get to the meat of today. Phones are great for filming, for making good videos, because they're very portable and very affordable. You don't need extra equipment. Everyone has got the tool in his own pocket. That means that you always have with you the tool that you need to capture on video what is happening around you while you are in the field, while you're in the heart of the action. You have a device in your hands that is capable of getting great picture. It's got a very high res. We'll say something more about the resolution. But you need to also understand that it's got its limitations. It's not designed purely as a camera, so it comes with some limitations that you need to understand in order to get around them. Probably the biggest one is sound, but also battery and memory and other little things we will go through in a second. Can be seen. Once you're aware of those, you can go around them and improve the quality of what you get. So sound quality. Phones are designed to talk into them, not to film from a distance. So they generally get very great picture, but not very good sound. And you might have noticed while filming, especially someone talking, that sometimes the sound of the environment, the busy streets around, are louder than the voice. And that means that you will lose the audience. So the basic tip that we will get in order to improve the sound quality, we will say more along the workshops in the participatory video process, but the basic tip, the most important thing, is to get your phone as close as possible to the source of the sound that you want to record. So if what you want to record is a person talking, get your phone not further away than a meter from the voice, from the mouth of the person talking. And if you are recording someone talking, try to do so in choosing a quiet environment, not in the middle of the street. Maybe go in a quiet corner so that you can hear the voice louder than the ambient sound. Battery. Filming will dry out your battery very quickly. So always make sure that you're not like 5% before starting filming. Make sure that your phone is fully charged. And if you can, bring with you a power bank or a power block, how you call it, so that while you're out in the field, you can give your phone a bit of juice and keep filming. In order not to be stopped filming, also memory is something that you need to be concerned with. Video making produces very big files. You might have seen sometimes in settings and descriptions of video this FPS symbol. What that means goes to the heart of how video is made, which is basically a series of still images that go past your eyes so quickly that you see them, you give the impression of a moving picture. 30 and 60 FPS, which stands for frames per second, is the most typical setting you can find on a phone. That means that you have, every second you film, 30 good quality pictures go around. So imagine how much memory you need. The only thing to do is to make sure that you routinely, every time you go out and film, you come back and empty your space only after downloading your clips on an external drive, for instance, backing it up, and always make sure that you have enough room for your filming to keep going. Resolution. What is resolution? We said video is a series of still images going past your eyes. The size of each one of those images is called resolution. And that, in higher the resolution, better the picture quality, but also bigger the file size. Here on screen, you can see on the most typical TV, 4K, the most modern settings, and super high definition. But you can see that how big it is compared to others, which means it's sometimes too big to handle. Is overshooting, because most people still watch stuff on this kind of screen size. So what we suggest And here you can see why you can see a kind of estimate of how much space each one of those settings will take on your phone. What we suggest is to go into your settings and before starting filming, set it up to a so-called 1080, sometimes it's referred as FHD, full high definition resolution, which is a very good compromise between picture quality and memory space that you fill up while filming. Then your phone is designed to keep you in touch with the rest of the world, but you don't want to do so while filming. You're treating your phone as a camera. So you don't want to be interrupted while filming by a phone call of someone selling you an insurance or something like that. So go into your settings and find the symbol for airplane mode and make sure that before starting filming anything that matters, you have that switched on so that you don't get interrupted. And also, there is a function in every phone, Android, iPhone, whatever, that allows your phone to adapt, whether it's horizontal or vertical. Let it go. Do take the settings for rotation lock off. Because what happens when you start filming with the rotation lock on is that you might end up having something like this. You think you're filming horizontal, but you're actually filming vertical. And when you share it, it will come up on screen. So if you film with your rotation lock off, you are sure that what you see on your screen will be what people will see on their screen when it comes to actually showing your end clips. So what I'll try and do now is to go into a phone. I will be using I will try and screen share my smartphone, which is a pretty old compared to today's technology. It's a 2020 iPhone. Don't be afraid if your interface doesn't look exactly the same. What matters here is to understand the principles, and it's very easy to adapt them and look for the detailed function on your phone. It's just a matter of finding it here or there. But what matters is to understand how it operates. So let's try and see whether my iPhone is shareable. Okay, now you can see my phone. You can see what I see on my iPhone. Before starting, I will be looking for my settings, a little routine before starting any filming. I will go into my settings, look for my camera settings, and check that the record video setting is actually on 1080, right? Then I can go out and look for my airplane modes and switch it on so that I don't get interrupted, and make sure that this rotation lock is unlocked. Because what happens if I keep it locked is that when I go into my camera and start filming, if I rotate my phone, you will see this. You will see something upside down, and then you need to turn upside down the screen to make it look good. So I can get out of here. Oh. Take it off so that when I go back into my camera, the camera adapts to whether I'm in so-called portrait mode or I'm in landscape mode. So something to understand from the outset is that as much as we are used to hold our phone vertically and film for social media vertically, video is horizontal, is landscape. In order to fill up a screen, you need to film with this aspect ratio. Technically, it's called aspect ratio 16:9 because 16 is the ratio horizontally and 9 is vertical. If I want to go from this aspect ratio and then post something online in this aspect ratio, I can always crop the edges, but and have something that looks a little bit more square, Facebook, Instagram compliant. Very difficult to do the other way around, to go the other way around. So phones need to be held horizontally and need to be held as steady as possible. Now, it might be challenging, and I suggest to use both your hands to hold it steady in front of your face so that it doesn't shake too much. And also important to understand that what video is about is the audience being able to see what happens in front of the screen. So keep it steady. If you keep moving your phone up and down all the time, or move around like this, people who watch your video will get seasick and will not be able to actually see what happens in front of you and understand the message that you want to deliver. You don't want to lose audience because they can't stand this shyness. Then another important thing to understand is that you don't have optical lenses. That means you cannot get closer to objects just by zooming. What happens when you zoom in onto something is, and you can probably appreciate this on the leaves of my flowers, is that you're zooming in into the pixels. You're degrading the picture quality that you have, you are filming with. You can see that the image looks very bad. That's because I'm zoomed in. If I zoom out, this is what my lens allow me to film, and this is what you should be aiming to film. So keep steady, keep longer shots. You can see at the top those three numbers 0000. As soon as I start filming, they will become red. On some phones, you get a red dot, and the numbers will go higher. That means I'm actually recording. This might sound very, very stupid, but actually it will happen that you think you're filming, but you're not. And when you think your shot is finished, you take down your phone, you stop, and you're actually filming your feet. So always make sure that the time code goes past, keep it steady, and always patrol the edges. Look around the edges of your phone. If you do that, you will notice that maybe you put the fingers in a place that you don't want them to be. Now it's my finger in front of the phone, making my video look very amateur. So make sure that what you're filming is what you want to film. And then something about the nature of this filming with smartphones. Smartphones are designed, let me give you my face here. Smartphones are designed to film, to be domestic tools so that everyone can get good results while just picking it up and pointing to something. That means, and that is achieved by being automatic. Your phone automatically reads the image and decides what is the best brightness, light. The technical term for it is exposure. So how much light you need to make it look good. And also decides, looks around and looks for things that the phone believes in its smartness. The phone believes is important, matters to you, and will be in focus, sharp. So the phone automatically reads the image and decides what needs to be in focus and what needs to be well exposed, well lit. This is great until you are either in very contrasted situations or the phone is not as smart as you think it is and decides on your behalf what it is that you want to film. And you've seen this many times where people talk to cameras and their face is off focused and maybe the background, the books behind me are very well lit and very sharp. So let's do it by sample. Or in contrasted situations where I want to film my flowers in front of me and the phone decides that the average light is good enough for everything to be well lit. Well, Actually, you can see that probably outside of the window, there is too much light in these conditions, in this situation, and the flowers are a bit underlit, are a bit dark. What you can do on any phone is to tell the software what is the area that you want to be well lit and sharp by just tapping with your finger on the item that you want to focus on. So if I get close to my flower here and I tap on it, it will try and adjust the light, and it doesn't even follow what I want it to do. So if I tap there, you can see that outside becomes very bright and the flower has become less dark. If I tap outside, you can see that now the flower is not sharp. Outside, I can see the other building in front of me very well lit, but I can't really see the flower. So by tapping, tell the phone what really matters to you. And then what happens is that the phone will keep doing his smart job of trying to adapt. And as soon as either you change slightly your framing or something goes past you, you see that it's trying to adapt. And you can see that when the hand goes off, outside is too bright. The flower is now become again soft focus, not good. So what you can do is to tell the smartphone, not only I want to film this flower, but also if I keep tapping on this flower and I keep tapping, you can see that I can lock. It says on my phone, AEAF lock, auto exposure and auto focus is now locked in. No matter if my hand goes past, no matter if I change slightly my framing, this flower will always be sharp and with the light that it has read initially. So what that means is that you, by locking, will be able to tell the phone, this is the setting I want to film in. Let's say that, for instance, I want to film my face and I don't want to risk that it changes its idea and it goes sharp on my background. I can tap on my face, keep tapping, and now I will prevent the so-called pumping. I will prevent the phone automatically switching the light and the focus at any time. And basically, you've seen this many times, and probably you've experienced this while filming with your phone, that light continuously changes, goes darker, brighter, darker, brighter, and also the focus shifts continuously. By having it locked, you will prevent this mistake, let's call it like this mistake to happen, and you can and you can film the subject that matters to you continuously, even if someone goes past your shot and keeps going, the light won't change and your video will be consistent, your exposure will be consistent. If you want to switch from one subject to the other, I can go on the flower here. Let's say that I want to start my filming on the flower and then I change the idea because something is happening outside. I just need to tap on another area. You'll see that a box comes up and I can just get out of those settings and relock it so that I'm sure that the phone will stay with this reading, with this focus and with exposure correct for what I tell the phone to be correct. So, general point, this function is even more critical when you shoot in very contrasted light situations. Like in this case, inside and outside there is a very different light. Inside it's dark, outside is very bright. what you can do, if your phone doesn't allow you to lock your phone, once you understand that the phone is continuously trying to average those readings, what you can do is to set up your frame so that there is less contrasted light. So for instance, I can go around here and have less of that very, very bright background. You can work around it and not be dismayed by the phone taking power over you. So another tool that you will find on most phones is that once you've locked, once you are in the lock function, by sliding up and down, you can see that there is a little sun symbol next to my box. On other Android phones, it might be another symbol, but it will allow you to tweak slightly your light, your brightness by sliding it down, sliding it up. So believe your phone is smart, but don't believe it's too smart. Always try and find a way. Now the light is correct. Finally is correct for my flower. Never think that your phone is smarter than you. You want to take control. You want to have your aesthetic in your hands and not give it away to your phone. So just by tapping the section on the screen that you want to focus on, you will improve your results. By locking it, you will prevent the pumping, and you will also be able to adjust a little bit the darkness so that what you feel is actually well lit to your eyes, not to the eyes of the smartphone. So, as a recap, very quickly, your routine, let me screen share my presentation now. As a routine, the tips that we leave you with is always check before filming, always check battery level and memory, routinely backup. Video is horizontal. Film landscape, don't film portrait. Choose a full HD, the so-called 1080 resolution. Keep your rotation unlocked and your airplane mode on. Never zoom, and let action happen in front of your phone. Not follow, not chase. Don't use it like a Uber, just trying to film everything around. This is long shots, steady shots are the basic ingredients to build your stories in an effective, engaging, compelling way. Because, and this is the end, filming, like writing, is more than typing. So there is not only a technical side to it, also video is more than the technicalities of using a phone. During the training, we will try to get rid of those technical limits as soon as possible so that you can, once you improve your technical skills, you can actually focus, and we will help you do so, in your visual storytelling. And we will be also trying to give you this opportunity so that you can think the story you want to say, you can think the elements you want to say, and you will have control over the editorial process once we get to the point of actually putting together the film and the message that you want to deliver to the world. Thank you for being patient and coming to this, and I look forward to meeting you in the training workshop and be with you along this long journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think we are moving to our last part in this training. If you would like, please add your comments and questions in the chat so we can address them at the end. And because of the number of participants, it's a bit difficult to give you the voice. So right now, I would like to share some of the training expectations and key dates. And I hope you're seeing my screen right now. Okay, so, so then Hugo, can you help us sharing the screen? I'm sorry, I am having some technical difficulties here. Thanks a lot. So what you had right now, a brief introduction from Mark and Michele, who are going to be our trainers for the rest of this process. And I want to be very clear in this part. It's a longer process. It's not just a one session training. It's going to be it will take a few months. So can we move to the next slide? So yeah, some of the expectations we have for this training is the first thing to fill the application form, where you will add some of your personal information, but also we want to know a little bit more about the work you are performing in your communities. And also, I want to remark again, you will need internet connection. And especially not only for the trainings, but to share the videos, because you will have to share them in good quality, you will need internet connection. Also access to a smartphone, which I think most of you have, or all of you have. And as Mark said before, the commitment to participate. And that means not only attending the sessions, but doing all the homework, or the filming of the videos that you will be commanded during the training. That is very important, because based on that, you will see how you will be advancing or not in your skills and knowledge. Next. Some of the important dates we have here is that after you submit your applications, of course, we will select the highlighting stories, and you will have a training on the 16th, the 18th and 23rd of April. And that's the first part of our training. And Mark already summarized the topics we will cover, but I think one of the most important things are very interesting is going to the interviews and how to do an interview. And right now I want to respond to Mudadi's question on what to do with the speaking on local languages or languages people may not understand. It is okay. We already covered that with the subtitles, so you don't need to voice over those interviews. And on May the 8th is our last training, the first part of the training before you start going to the field. In between the 23rd of April and the 8th, you will have a short homework and you will have to film. Then we go through our filtering process. We jump to the second phase after the training next, which is the filming, as I said. So what you will see in these calendars in between mid-May and mid-June, it is going to be your not only training, but mostly you're going to be doing a lot of processes of peer reviewing. And participatory video is not only that you will tell your story, but you will share your story with other participants, and you will give feedback mutually. And that's very rich. I think that's something that other participants have highlighted that part in the previous group. And at the end of this part of the filming, we will narrow down a little bit the participants. And here at the end of this part, you will receive a certificate of attendance. Because then we will move to the third phase of the training after June, between mid-June and mid-September. We will work on the post-production, which is the editing. And here there's a lot of time that needs to be devoted for the participants to sit down with Michele and Mark and edit your stories, how you want to portray the images, what you want to show or not. So what we expect is that by mid-September, we already have the clearances. Also, we have to go through internal clearances at FAO to see that we are complying with all ethical procedures, yes. And once you have your videos done, they will be published in FAO YouTube channels, but also they will be presented in important events, international events like the COP29, the World Food Day, the yearly meeting of the Committee on World Food Security, and any other platforms. So the idea is also to leverage your work internationally and help you building your professional career. So I think the next So yeah, we're already almost over the time. I would like to know if you have any questions or comments. Okay, for this, I'm a question from Natasha. Not for this session. No, this is mostly an informative session. It's very short. The training process is much more intensive because here you gain some knowledge, but we want you to gain some skills, and for that you need to enroll in the program. Yeah, Deborah, could you please share your question via the chat if you have? And Muradi, about voiceover. Actually, because of the idea of this training, which is local heroes, we want to hear the voice of the less heard people. It is better to use their own voice without having voiceover. So what we have done before is to know what they say, and then we use the translation to English to add in the subtitles. I don't know if I answered your question. Okay, so to apply for the training, I will share the link to the form. We will also share the link via this via the emails you included in the registration. So I think you can access to the forms here, and here you will see what you need to fill to apply to the course. And yes, I don't know if you have any more answers now. Any more questions? I'm sorry. So for the people who missed today's training, we will share the recording so you know what we covered. But I think the most interesting part would be to fill in the application form, and then you can have access to the other recordings of the trainings. But yeah, it's important for you to attend whenever you are selected, if you are selected. But the most important part is that you commit to do all the exercises. Okay. So do you have tools such as application? Apps, not apps. No, that's I think most for the post-production, and that will be covered by Spectacle, by Mark and Michele. And yeah, that will be discussed during the training, as well as the selection of the training dates, because it has to be in a consensus of the regions participating and having the best time zone for you guys. And about the applications, yeah, we will go through the stories you will share, because that's very important to have what's the work you're working on, and what is your idea on the story you would like to develop. So that's the eligibility is based on that part, a big part, sorry. So I think we're over the time right now. I would like to wrap up for today's session, and thank you very much for participating and for joining. We will contact you via email with the links, and yeah, goodbye and thank you very much.
Great, look forward to working with you. Brilliant.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon.